It's the coldest, windiest, highest, and driest continent on the planet. It's a landscape shaped by wind, rock, and ice. This is Antarctica, a place like nowhere else on Earth. I'm Art Wolf. Join me on Travels to the Edge. Before exploring Antarctica, the planet's southernmost continent, I couldn't resist a quick stop in the remote Falkland Islands, which lie east of the tip of South America. Surrounded by the cold South Atlantic, the Falkland Islands are an isolated sanctuary for marine mammals and birds that thrive in these high latitudes. I'm on a very remote island off the northeast corner of the Falkland Islands known as Steeple Jason. This island has never been inhabited by man, and consequently it is absolutely covered in black-browed albatrosses. Tens of thousands of pairs nest on this island. One of the nice things that I experience while I'm sitting here photographing these albatrosses is the sensation of these birds coming directly overhead as they're landing or catching the currents. Some albatrosses literally circumnavigate the globe between nesting seasons. So they're birds that are born to fly, and they only come ashore once during the nesting season. Otherwise, these birds are on the wing, off the land, and out over the air currents. Although their numbers are declining, this is still the largest black-browed albatross rookery in the world. Literally hundreds of thousands of birds are nesting in this sprawling plain all the way to the sea. And to photograph it, I'm choosing to shoot patterns. Basically shooting the repetition of every bird shape that is evenly spaced across this plain. These isolated islands present a unique opportunity to get close to one of the world's rarest raptors. I've got a great shot right now of this caracara, which is a striated caracara, also known as a Johnny Rook. This is an opportunistic bird of prey that is always looking for the exposed egg or the unattended baby. I'm shooting it with a wide-angle lens, and I'm really bringing in this beautiful rugged coastline, the beautiful deep blues of the ocean, the surrounding black-browed albatrosses, and it just makes a great shot. As evening approaches, tens of thousands of nesting birds settle in for the night. Here at the very end of the day, light is coming really at an oblique angle to these very calm black-browed albatross. Is really beautiful dark sky in the distance, and it's just the perfect shot to end the day. From the Falkland Islands, we're heading 600 miles farther south across the notorious Drake Passage to Antarctica. I've just spent the last 2 days at sea crossing the Drake Passage. And now the rewards, Antarctica. It is amazing. Fantastic light. Really, really excited to be here. I've asked Jeff Renner for a primer on the geologic history of this frozen landmass. So what can you tell me about the Antarctic Peninsula in particular?
Well, being a geologist, I look to the rocks there primarily, and one of the earliest geologists down there did identify the Antarctic Peninsula as an extension of the Andes. In fact, it was called the Antarctandes. The geology of the Andes is similar to the geology which is in the peninsula. It's dormant here, it's finished now. The volcanic activity is finished, but it was a volcanic island arc.
Would you consider Antarctica a desert?
Well, by definition, a desert is not necessarily temperature controlled, but it's the amount of precipitation. And sure enough, Antarctica is classed as perhaps the driest. It's a cold desert as against a hot desert. The snowfall where we are, it's maritime, so you may be getting 15 to 20 feet of snow a year. Not so on the mainland, the East Antarctica. Their snowfall may be only half an inch or so a year. But the difference there is that it doesn't go. It stays, it accumulates, and then it gradually turns to ice and then flows outward from the interior to carve off through the glaciers, and you gradually get this huge mass of floating ice. That is an ice shelf.
I'm often asked, what is my favorite place to photograph on Earth? And without hesitation, I always respond Antarctica and South Georgia Island. Virtually anywhere I take my camera and aim it, I've got a great image, whether it's the ice and the beautiful way the light reflects off the water and these beautiful mountains. Got a small rookery of Gentoo penguins sitting on this rock promontory with this beautiful backdrop of a glacier. All these Gentoo penguins are incubating eggs, and they've made a nest literally out of tiny pebbles. There are no grasses, there are no sticks down here in the Antarctica, so they make do with what they've got. All day long, they still rock after rock after rock until the nest that they're stealing from no longer has rock. Stone thief, stone thief. Look at that bird. There's no pride in these birds. They'll come over 10 feet away, steal the rock that this bird has really worked hard to steal from other birds. always got to keep your eye on these guys. You never know when they're going to sneak up behind you and steal things out of your pack. I've got a very interesting shot here. It's of Gentoo penguins nesting on a rock in the distance, and in the foreground I'm incorporating the bones of a humpback whale, which undoubtedly was harvested during the heyday of the whaling industry that really was centered here in the Antarctic during the beginning of the last century. One of the interesting birds that lives here is the blue-eyed shag. It's actually a cormorant that also feeds in the krill-rich waters here in these very, very cold seas. The distinctive thing about the blue-eyed shag is the blue eye, and it is such a beautiful color. It's almost a deep cobalt blue that rings the eye. Well, this is exactly what I was hoping to get, which is a really nice framing of this mountain now with these very abstract, almost magical icicles hanging down, and each icicle has a little frozen drop. Oh, this is beautiful. As remote as this continent is, it hasn't escaped the influence of man. History professor Tim Bowman describes the early history of whaling here. What do you know about the whaling industry down here? I mean, when did it start and what was the extent of it?
Well, whaling began in the Antarctic in a serious way in 1904 when C.A. Larson established a base in South Georgia, but it affected the whole of the Antarctic region. And over a period of time, there were huge numbers of whales were taken until the industry basically shut down. What we're looking at in terms of numbers is over 1 million killed whales. And if you want to take that 1 million whale figure and make it real, look out over the ocean. If you're anywhere down here, look into the bay. We have a bay behind us right now. Look out there. Do you see a spout? I'm telling you, in 1904, you'd have had a hard time counting the spouts. You could have walked ashore on the backs of the whales.
I'm intrigued by the way the residue of the whaling industry is disintegrating and aging, lichens attached to this metal as it breaks down. And there's a lot of textures and colors that I find very intriguing. I really love the way these rivets have really exploded and disintegrated as the cold and the ice works its way into the recesses, and they just explode. During the process of thawing and freezing, it just really wreaks havoc on metal. And as cracks appear, lichens establish a foothold, and the whole thing now becomes a study of texture and color, and that's really what I'm after. These zodiacs are absolutely perfect for this environment. They have the ability just to be like mini icebreakers, pushing through the ice, getting us into great, great positions. The thing that I think defines Antarctica more than anything is ice. And behind me is a classic iceberg. And unlike any iceberg I've photographed before, this one is full of icicles. And it presents a new subject in a beautiful, ethereal way. This is about as dynamic an environment as you'd find anywhere. And everything's changing. Nothing stays the same. All the configurations of the icebergs are constantly moving around in these currents. I could just stay here and shoot all day long. There's several Weddell seal pups just frolicking in and amongst the ice that's building up along the shore. They're very, very young, and yet, even at this age, they're practicing behaviors that will really serve them well as adults. So sparring and engaging and always trying to get the upper hand with their other baby will teach them the necessary skills as adults to really survive in this really difficult and harsh environment. Really nice, gentle expression, which is just the perfect counter to this really hostile world. He's very curious. He's just playing like all babies would, completely unafraid of us. And he's coming in closer. He's gonna come in. Hello. And I'm staying very low, so he's really, really curious. And wow, just beautiful. It's those moments throughout my career that I take home and I'll remember the rest of my life. Those nice, engaging moments between photographer and subject where there's just this bond of trust. And it's really what it's about. This is a classic Antarctic scene. Adelie penguins sitting on ice right along the shore. I've got icebergs in behind them that are really distinctive in their shapes, and then really dramatic clouds in the distance, these lenticular clouds, which are really indicative of high winds in the atmosphere. It is truly Antarctica. There are 17 different species of penguins. The Adelie, like the emperor, are truly birds of the ice. They are at the most upstaged by penguins. I got a really nice pair of Adelie penguins just sitting there, and the way their flippers, if I move my camera ever so much, it's like they're holding hands. Right now, I've got a beautiful shot of a single penguin, and I'm framing it through an iceberg on the beach that has a natural hole in it. So it's really a nice way of looking at a penguin in yet, again, a different way. I've got a beautiful pattern of about 60 Adelie penguins, and their black and white coloration is really, really striking in this late afternoon light. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, and here's one coming in. Oh, there they go. Wow. I feel like a fox in a chicken coop here. There's so much to shoot. I love the patterns of the ice, the late afternoon light, the austerity of this place for me is magnificent. Oh, wait a minute, look at this. Great, just keep heading towards this iceberg. There's a great iceberg we're approaching, and as the light gets lower, the icicles hanging off the overhang really are catching the light. 6 to 7/10 of this iceberg lies below the surface of this water. And that's what's so deceiving about it. Oh, this is a great shot right now. All the icicles are really highlighted by the light, and I've got a nice gray backdrop. Wow. If this doesn't exemplify Antarctica, I don't know what else does. My mission as a photographer is really to translate the environment. I love to challenge myself to record the environment, to show people maybe the Antarctic they've never seen before. I'm Art Wolfe. Join me next time on Travels to the Edge.
This program and other episodes from this season are available on 3-episode discs for $17.95 each, plus shipping and handling. An award-winning book of Art Wolfe's landscapes featured in this series and beyond, Edge of the Earth, Corner of the Sky, is available for $49.95 plus shipping and handling. To order the book or DVDs, please call 1-800-440-2651.
Here are 3 of my favorite images from this episode. To learn more about this episode and how these images were produced, please visit artwolf.com.